Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced, and this game is from the Esports World Cup, and this is from the losers bracket. With the white pieces we have Nepomniachtchi, and with the black pieces we have Esipenko. And definitely this game is going to be experience versus prodigy, so let's see how Jan does it. So without further ado, let's start with this game. This is game 2, game 1 where Esipenko won. So here to force Armageddon, Jan Nepomniachtchi has to win this game. So with the white pieces, he starts with e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5, going for the rule Lopez, and we have a6, bishop to a4, and here just knight to f6, going for the Morpheus defense. We have castles, b5, and here just bishop to b3. We have knight to bishop to c5, and here just c3, and here d6, and here just d4. Just nicely going for that variation, and here most likely you're going to see knight development. Here knight will go jump to e3 or g3 depending on the position. We have bishop to d6, and here a4, and here rook to b8. We have a captures, queen to d3, and here just bishop to d7, and here knight to a3. But now it's 6, just not allowing that bishop jump to happen. We have knight captures on b5, just grabbing that extra pawn, and we have this castles by black, and we have h3, not allowing this bishop to jump in as well. And here just e captures, and in this position knight captures was played. But here you could also go for this e captures, and you can see that, and you have a massive center. But there could be some very nasty discoveries, so better to not go for all of that. But here just bishop caps on d4, and here c captures, but here just knight caps on e4, just grabbing that pawn. We have bishop caps on f7, because simply you could not capture, and also keep an eye on that bishop. So here just bishop captures, rook captures, and now just queen caps on e4, just trading pieces in a different way. And we have knight to b4, but here just rook to a3, and here we have queen to f6. So definitely black has finished development. That c5 move is coming. Queen and rook battery is looking very strong, but you're gonna have to break through white's defenses. And here in this position you could play a lot of moves. The move that was played was d5 in this position by white, but there was a better move here. You could have also gone for this rook to d2, bishop to d2, attacking the knight, and here after bishop to f5, attacking the queen. Queen moves, and now you go for this knight to c2, and here after rook to c3, trying to trap the knight, although it is defended. But here after queen to e7, now you go for this queen to d1. Now you will be happy to trade two pieces for the rook. And here after rook captures, trying to defense against that, we have queen to c1 attacking the rook moves to a2. We have queen to b1 attacking the rook and the knight, and now here queen to e6, just defending the rook. But now you have this rook to c1, and now it looks very scary. You can have a lot of discoveries in this position, but nothing really too much that's going to be bothering you. Here knight to a3, just a very nice discovery on the queen. But now you have a check in this position, so better to go for it rather than any other place. Queen to b8 check, rook to f8, and here just queen to b4, just putting some pressure on that knight. And here we have knight to c2. Now you go for this queen back, and most likely you're going to see a very weird draw in this position. But instead of all of this, going for just d5, because the position is a drawn position, absolutely drawn position, and there is nothing, no parties can make that much hit. And instead where you see that your position is a bit too good and you try to sacrifice pieces. But here just queen to f5, and here we have queen to c4, declining the trade. If you trade now, you have not that good position, aside from the queen, because here that rook is very nicely hanging, that pawn is very nicely hanging once you develop the bishop, and it's going to be very difficult to defend that. And then you're going to have these pawns going to be pushing and become pass pawns. It's going to be very annoying. So here just knight caps on d5, just grabbing that pawn, but just rook to d1, attacking the knight, and we have c6. And I think Andre, whatever he wanted from this position, he definitely got almost everything from the position. He has a fabulous pawn structure, pieces are almost all developed, and Jan is still looking out for some activity with his pieces which he can do to try and get some initiative, because with the white pieces, if he doesn't win this game, he cannot force Armageddon, and it's going to be game over for him. So here just rook to e1, but now here rook b to f8. Now this is just absolutely carnage in this position, and here rook to e2, but here just queen to g6, and we have knight to h4 attacking the queen. I mean, knight to h4 is honestly speaking, it's a ballsy move, because you have to understand that it does come with an attack, but it also opens up this. So here queen to h5 attacking the knight, and here you have to be very much careful in this position, because there is a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension. If the queen moves, that that rook can be captured, and you have to be very much careful. The best way to play this in this position is rook to b3, not moving the queen from the defense of the rook, because if you move, then it's going to be very much difficult. And here after knight to c5, now you go for this knight back to f3, bishop captures, and here after g captures, you play this queen first d5, just moving the queen to g4, and now you play queen captures, g captures, and here just going for this rook captures, And here, only after rook captures, now you get this position where black is a pawn up and is going to have a better end game, but you have much more chances drawing here than you would where we are going here. Queen to h5, but here just rook to g3. And this rook to g3 is definitely not going to be working in anywhere in Jan's favor. And here just knight b to d6. We have attacking on the queen, and here queen to e4, but now just going for this d5, and we have queen to d4. But here in this position, I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try and find out the only move in this position that wins the game while I give you a couple of seconds. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move, and the move is the spectacular move that we've been talking about all along. You don't have to move the queen from the defense of the rook, and that rook is absolutely not just free, but you have to be very much careful in this position, because the idea was to sacrifice the rook but go for an immediate attack with this rook captures on h6. And if you trade now, like you can, but so many things are hanging, because here after queen captures and rook captures, you'll most likely get that rook capture, so you don't want to have that. So instead, just king to h7, but here just now bishop caps on g7, and here rook to g8, and here knight to g6. Just a beautiful, beautiful move, saying that go ahead, capture my bishop, because if you capture this bishop now, there's a mate in 3. I'm sure, I hope all of you can see this, which starts with first queen to h4 check, king moves, and a beautiful queen to h8 checkmate. I mean, where do you see this now these days? But instead, you could also go for this here queen captures on f2 that we were talking about right after not capturing the bishop, but going for this queen captures on f2. And once the queen captures, now you play this rook captures, king captures, and here rook captures. And in this position, you could also once the knight moves, you could just trade the pieces, and you're going to be up a piece in a completely winning position. Uh, so definitely queen caps on e2, only move that wins in this game. But instead here, Andres Esipenko thought his position is completely winning. He could just postpone it, and he went for c5, but c5 just completely blunders the game. And now Jan sees that Jan goes for rook to e5, just attacking the queen, and here just c caps on d4. And now you can see that that rook was free, but now that rook has captured your queen. So here just king to h7, but now it just blunders it even further. Bishop caps on h6, just sacrificing, because you have so many pieces surrounding the king. G captures, but now just going for this rook to g6. And this rook to g6 such a beautiful move, because now there is little to no hope on saving that pawn. Rook to g7, but now here just rook caps on b6, just grabbing that knight. And now your piece, well, the pieces are equal now, but here still this position is very much in Jan's favor. We have king to g8, and now just going for this rook caps on h6. We have rook to f4, but now just rook caps on d5, and we have bishop caps on h3, and in this position just knight to g6. And now this is just very much on the table. So here just rook to f6, but now here just knight to e7 check. We have king to f7, and just rook caps on h3. And here after king captures, you can see that I'm just gonna gobble up this pawn, and I have 3 pass pawns to none. Even though it's we have equal amounts of pieces, it's still gonna be an game where white is just gonna come out superior and winning. So if it's on this move, Andrei Esipenko resigned the game on just move 39, where Jan got this spectacular victory. I mean, if Andrei had gone for that queen caps on e2, the position was completely winning. He missed it, tried something else, and it cost him the game. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll be coming back with such amazing games, so stay tuned in the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you all.